In the hill country of Ephraim there lived a man named Elkanah who had two wives. One was called Hannah and the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had none. Year after year Elkanah would go up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty at Shiloh. But it was a time of deep sorrow for Hannah, for the Lord had closed her womb, and her rival Peninnah kept provoking her in order to irritate her. In her deep anguish Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly, and she made a vow, saying, "Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life." As she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli the priest observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, and her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was drunk and said to her, "How long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine." "Not so, my lord," Hannah replied. "I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord." Eli answered, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him." So in the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked the Lord for him." After the boy was weaned, she took him to the house of the Lord at Shiloh. She said to Eli, "I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord." This story teaches us profound lessons. First, the power of persistent and heartfelt prayer. Hannah poured out her soul to God, demonstrating that in our deepest anguish, God is near and listens. In our modern lives, when faced with our own barrenness, be it unfulfilled dreams, career struggles, or personal loss, we can turn to faith, not with empty words, but with the full weight of our hearts. Second, it teaches us about keeping our promises, especially those made to God. Hannah fulfilled her vow without hesitation, dedicating her long-awaited son to God's service. This challenges us to live with integrity and honor our commitments, reflecting a character of faithfulness in a world that often values convenience over covenant. Finally, we learn that God often works through the humble and overlooked. Samuel's life began not in a palace but through the faith of a sorrowful woman. This reminds us that God can use our weaknesses and unlikely circumstances to bring about his great purposes. We can live out this lesson by trusting that even in our ordinary lives we can be part of an extraordinary divine plan.